Okay, we are back for our next set of licks. We should be able to round it up or finish it out now, which is fantastic. And soon you'll be getting a Jimi Hendrix on, which will be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so the next lick, very, very simple. 5, 5 on the G string, and then 7 on the D string. So pretty simple. Again, adding a little character. Not super complicated, but in the grand scheme of things, with all the riffs played together, it does have some kind of a nice tonal quality to it, which is really cool. Okay, so let's go on to our next lick now. This time it's kind of a little bit more specific, and the fingering is quite important because we'll be doing a bend that's a little bit tricky. We'll be bending in this case, or I'll play the lick for you first. That's literally the lick. It's just a bend and then playing that E of the 5th fret, the high E, twice. So when you're actually doing it, Torin, you're not bending with the pinky like you would play using the pentatonic scale. In this case, you're using your 2nd finger on the 7th fret, your 3rd finger on the B to bend. Those 2 fingers together, and then coming all the way back down, stretching that 1st finger and hitting that E string twice. So all together. Not super complicated, but just you wait for the next one, which is super complicated, although you played it superbly on Wednesday, so I assume you'll probably do the same again. Okay, so this is almost a carbon copy, except it's just a little bit longer of what we just did previously when we were learning the licks. Okay, so for this one, we want to hit that bend and that back to the 5th note 4 times, and then we're going to do a bend on the actual high E string and then kind of resolve. But instead of playing the high E on the 5th fret twice after the bend, which we did in the first riff, we'll only be playing it once. So to give you an example, it's like this. Bend. Very, very slow. And again, this is something that you want to practice really, really quickly to a point where it gets to etc. So let's just start with that first little section. Really, really simple. Bend, bend, play, bend, play, bend, play. 4 times through. Now with the last time, kind of similar, you want that 2nd and that 3rd finger. This time you've dropped down to the E string. Now you're bending up, and then back to the 5th, then up to the 8th on the B string, and then resolving on that root note, which is the A of the E string on the 5th fret. So if you have a look at it, kind of similar to what we did with that difficult riff that we were doing before. So all together. Pretty tricky, but also pretty damn cool too. Alright, so if you can nail that, I'll be very impressed. Go through it again and again and again, but I can't reiterate to you enough, Torin, slowly but surely. Do these things very, very slowly, and eventually they'll be like second nature to you. Alright, last lick. Yay, we got to the end. You are now a rock and roll star, which is very good. You already were one, but now you're an even bigger one because you're equipped to rock and solo, as well as to sing and do all the other awesome stuff you're doing. Okay, so this lick is interesting. Let me have a look actually how you play it, because it's so funny. I remember when I was teaching you this, I forget the last lick every single time. Alright, so let's have a look. Yeah, so that's kind of nice. Pretty simple. I'm just going... Nothing too complicated there, Torin, just counting back from 8 on the B string to the 5th. And then resolving on that one. Almost like just I'm counting down, like 8, 5, then onto the G string, I'm doing 7, 5, and then on this one. And that's that same kind of resolving pattern that we used in that first one. It's that 7, 5, 7, or not the first lick, but it was that lick that we were doing which sounded like this. Okay, and think about the lesson that we also had. Why are we always resolving on like this note, which is here, or in some cases here? It's because they are the root note for the particular box that we're playing in the A minor pentatonic scale. Alright, so you should be pretty well equipped to do all of that. You've got a bunch of homework, so let's go through the solo, see if I can play it all without messing it up. This will be amazing if I can. So let's have a look. First lick. Ooh, so far we're actually doing pretty well. Not looking too bad. Very good. And then what have we got for the next lick? I almost forgot. And then... I messed it up almost. you want to play this as well, Tauren, I should have said this at the beginning. As you're actually learning all these licks and playing them, if you want something to play over, play A minor for 3 bars, then play the sequence G and D for 1 bar. So it would be kind of like 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, D. And if you play that and record it perhaps into a phone, or at least even playing along, you can even play along to this video. The licks should all sound fantastic. Alright, let there be rock.